Deep Rock Galactic is constantly getting more and more green beards every single day, which is a fantastic thing. However, the Caves of Hoxus can be a little confusing to manage when you're just starting off. So today, let's go through a few tips to help anyone just starting their journey in Deep Rock Galactic. What's up guys, Jay here and welcome back to the channel. While DRG is a very fun game once you carve out your footing and playstyle, in the beginning figuring out ways to get the most out of it can sometimes be a little bit tricky. There are a lot of moving parts to this game and in some cases it can be overwhelming to keep track of everything at once. So today we're going to go through 12 helpful tips for beginners to help improve their playstyle in Deep Rock Galactic. By the way, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe because only about 14% of you are subscribed right now and it would really help me out a lot. Number 1. Stick together. First and foremost, always stick together with your team. Deep Rock Galactic is all about teamwork, so going solo can make things harder, especially when you're just starting off. Stick together to help each other out in tight situations and maximize your efficiency. It will help you learn the kinds of strengths and weaknesses each class has in not only combat, but also traversal and utility. If you are ever unsure what to do in a given situation, most likely one of your allies will know what to do, and then you can just follow their lead. Number 2. Eat your Nitra crusts. Nitra is one of the most core resources in Deep Rock Galactic, as it allows you to restock and resupply both yourself and the team. While gathering Nitra from the cave walls, a common mistake that I see people make is to mine the core body of the Nitra while leaving the crust pieces on the edge. Try to get in the habit of mining that Nitra vein entirely because not only does the crust provide much more Nitra than you would think, but it also looks cleaner and nicer, and if you are mining Nitra anyway, you might as well finish it. It's the same concept as eating a sandwich crust. Yes, I know it is the most bland tasting part, but you are already there, so you might as well finish it. Number 3. Know supply pod etiquette. Supply pods are crucial for replenishing your ammo, health, and equipment, but remember to not hog all of it for yourself. Communicate with your team to ensure everybody gets what they need from the supply pods. Most of the time it's pretty easy to divide the pod up. If it's just 2 of you, then each of you get 2 hits. If it's 4 of you, then you each get 1. And if it's 3 of you, then it can get a little tense. If you pull up your laser pointing tool, you can see little segments under each player's icon. These segments tell you how much ammo a player currently has in segments of 25%. So if you see someone has only 1 or maybe even no segments filled in, then they probably need the ammo more than you do. Also, if somebody is very gravely injured, then that could be grounds for them to have an extra hit as well to get healed up. Simply put, do not get super greedy when the resupplies come down and don't take more than what you need. Number 4. The power of R. This next one is a little more specific, and for some reason I haven't seen it done nearly as much as it was before and how much it should be done, and I could even do a little better with this one personally. What I mean by the power of R is a ready check. Basically, whenever the team is about to start anything important, whether it be a mission objective, a machine event, a random encounter, or even just calling in the drop pod for extraction, the polite thing to do is to simply see if the team is ready by typing a quick R in the chat. It's essentially just letting everyone be on the same page when it comes to what's about to happen. If you see a bunch of R's right after you do yours, then you can surmise that the team is ready for whatever is happening. Now for console players, this may be a little bit harder to do, but one thing you can do is to mark whatever it is that you want to be ready for with your laser pointer, and then do the rock and stone chant and see if anybody responds. It's not quite as consistent, but as a greenbeard, you should probably not be the one starting big events anyway. Number 5. Don't forget about the perk milestones. One thing that can be easily overlooked and forgotten about when starting off is looking at your perk milestones and making sure to claim them and unlock all of your perks. Perk milestones are your ticket to enhancing your character's abilities. Make sure to keep an eye on your perks and complete milestones to unlock powerful upgrades that will make your mining job easier. When you do several missions and have been playing for a little while, you will most likely have unlocked several perks worth of perk points that you can use to unlock whatever perks you want. If you want a full breakdown of all the perks and what they do and how they work, I've made a video on that very topic that I'll link above for you to check out, because there are a lot of perk options to choose from and they all have very unique effects. Number 6. Learn the basics of each class. To excel in Deep Rock Galactic, you need to understand the roles of each class. Take the time to learn the basics of the scout, gunner, engineer, and driller and how they can complement each other. Each class is meant to be good in some ways and bad in others. This is done on purpose to make a cohesive and effective mending of all the classes so that when you have all of them present, that is the peak level of power that a team can be at, and that's because every base is covered. Now each class works very differently and has its own playstyle. The gunner is very aggressive, the scout is very mobile, the engineer is very defensive, and the driller is very unique. Take the time to learn the ins and outs of each class and see if you like how a particular class feels and stick with it for a while. As each class unlocks more and more weapons and equipment, they can sometimes change playstyles drastically, and this can lead to some very cool build choices that you may gravitate towards. To help with this, for the next few tips, I'm going to give a tip for each specific class to help you get some more value out of that for your team in a very passive way. Number 7, for the scout, keep those flares lit up. As a scout, one of your primary jobs is to keep the pathway lit up. Your trusty flare gun has significantly more lighting power than the normal thrown flares, and in turn can help your team more by shining light in a bigger area. Make sure to keep your flares up to illuminate the dark caves, making it easier for your team to navigate and spot resources. Be mindful of ammo, of course, and space out the flares enough to cover as much of the cave's room as possible. Use them primarily on large rooms instead of small corridors, since those can easily be lit up with the normal flares. Number 8, for the gunner, proactively use your shield. Gunners, be proactive with your shield generator. A very common practice I see some people try to do is to save their shield for an insane period of time for a very specific set of circumstances and end up never using it at all. It's the equivalent of finding a really good consumable item in an RPG and never using it because, well, what if I need it later? And then later never comes. That is what you should not do with the case of your shield generator. Use it to protect your team from incoming threats or to create cover during intense battles. Your shield can be a lifesaver, doing a revive, grabbing ammo, or just protecting from a random swarm. Keep throwing the shield down whenever you see a lot of enemies going to your team, or when you have to do something specific that you want to be safe while doing so. Number 9, for the engineer, use platforms whenever possible. The engineer's platform gun is one of the engineer's most versatile tools. It allows you to make footholds in places where there normally aren't. It can give good pathways for higher elevation and lookout points when needed. However, one of the best uses for the platform gun is to pair it with the scout's natural mobility. Look around for mineral deposits in the high up areas with no footing and set up a platform for your scout to zip to with ease. Adopt this practice and your scout and the rest of the team will be incredibly grateful. Number 10, for the driller, drill to the escape pod. As a driller, your main goal is to terraform the land to whatever goal your team needs. Now, this can be done in many different ways depending on the situation. However, the most useful and direct way to help your team is to help them escape. You can create an escape tunnel to the drop pod when the mission is completed. It ensures a quick and safe extraction for the rest of your teammates. Once the drop pod lands and the timer starts going, check your terrain scanner to see where it landed and look at the icon that shows up. Line up the icon with the center of your screen, then just start cutting a line directly to the pod. Don't worry too much about the timer. Unless you have a really bad cave generation with falls or pits, you'll be able to get to the pod with plenty of time to spare. Do this and you will significantly increase your mission completion efficiency. Number 11, prepare to fail. Deep Rock Galactic can be challenging, and there are certain times where things just don't go right, and failure is part of the learning process. Don't get discouraged when things go wrong. Instead, use your failures as opportunities to improve. No matter how well you are doing, if a bulk detonator spawns on top of Doretta, then there isn't really anything you can do about that. Or if you walk into a room and there are 4 spitball infectors, you can't really do a whole lot about that situation. Instead of getting upset, learn from those instances and figure out how to adapt to them. There are over 60 different enemy types in the game, and they all have different strengths and weaknesses, so learning all of them early on is a very tall task. You will be able to clear missions easily soon enough, so don't worry. There is no need to rush success. Make sure to take the time to stop and smell the bulu caps. Number 12, don't be too hard on yourself. Lastly, this game is great, but also has a lot of moving parts, so don't be too hard on yourself if you're not getting a hold of everything right out of the gate. There are 4 classes, each with 3 primaries, 3 secondaries, and 4 grenades each. There are again over 60 enemy types, 8 mission types, 10 different biomes with their own rules and in some cases unique enemies. Simply put, there is a lot of stuff to absorb when you are just starting off in this game. Everyone makes mistakes and the game is meant to be fun. Keep a positive attitude and enjoy the journey with your fellow miners and you will have a great time. The great thing about this game is even if you aren't playing too great, most of the time players will not be too upset, especially if you are playing on the lower hazard levels, which I would recommend when you are just starting off. Well, there you have 12 tips for beginners in Deep Rock Galactic to help you improve your game when just starting out. Hopefully these tips can help you be a little bit more confident about your gameplay and help you support your teammates and yourselves as you trounce about the caves and gather all those sweet minerals. Anyway, I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please be sure to like and subscribe to help support the channel and tell me what types of videos you guys want to see. Thank you guys for watching and I will see you in the next video.